Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back. It is the eSports Report presented by Xbox One. Puckett here with Mr. X and Benson. You guys look beautiful today.
Thank you, Christopher. I was kind of worried about my appearance today, but
top man,
you shouldn't.
Your confidence in me is giving me new life.
I did not. I just went for the leftovers on the wardrobe.
Yeah, no, I
just gave up.
dude.
Anyway, let's move on with the show. Ben, lots to talk about, and we're going to start it off here. Before we get into the fresh start, we should talk a little bit about what we're going to be looking forward to here in about 7 days, 8 days,
so
something like that. The beta is just around the corner for Black Ops 3, and a new trailer came out yesterday. Let's take a look at this bad boy. What from this video today? Honestly, I haven't seen this yet.
Oh, it's pretty awesome. So I think the biggest takeaway from this is that they unveiled 2 new specialists. So far, I believe we've seen 6 of the specialists. There are 9 in total. So this gives us 2 more, and then there's still one that's kind of a mystery one going into launch.
We should kind of talk about the actual specialist. One is going to be battery, okay? Weapon is going to be a war machine, kind of like a grenade launcher. Ability, kinetic armor. Charge electrically reactive armor that supplements enemy bullets on contact.
Right there you saw the Spectre one. That's the other specialist. He actually runs in his gun, variant. It's not really a gun, Chris. It's kind of like an energy sword a little bit. So it's pretty cool.
It's pretty strange. It said mono edge twin blades, just kind of like, as you said, Matt, a bit of a blade, or you can use active camo, which by the sounds of it seems as if it's kind of like exo cloak.
Yeah. So coming up towards the end here, this is where you see that kinetic armor ability. You see right there, that's the kinetic armor. So one thing you notice, there's no armor on the head.
Right.
So it's kind of like, I think players are like, hey, stim, AW, oh my god, that's going to be stim from AW. It's different because it's not going to last as long. It's going to have that head damage.
Can we play that again? I would love to watch that one more time. So 2 new specialists.
Yep.
Lots of specialists been shown. Matt, you got a chance to watch these firsthand and cast it over there in Cologne. What do you think people are going to gravitate to?
It's interesting because you see, like a player like TP, right? Like an OBJ player. He started to gravitate towards the abilities, and especially like the Ruin Overdrive, able to move really fast. You had guys who could run a little bit of both, like a Tommy. Like some games he ran more of an OBJ-minded specialist, like in Search and Destroy, he ran, the Outrider Vision Pulse, which gives you that little bit of time where you can actually like get an outline of the enemies, kind of wave scans the map. But then sometimes he ran the Annihilator pistol when he wanted to, play a game with like Hardpoint, more kind of slay heavy. So very interesting. I think you're gonna see a mix-up from all the players.
I'm excited for the beta to finally come out. It's worth mentioning the multiplayer maps that we're going to see as well. Hunted, Combine, and Evac. They're going to be in the
Those
beta.
are the 3 you saw at Gamescom.
Yeah, they're exactly the 3 maps that you guys were kind of casting over. The game modes, though, this is something which is always interesting. We've got TDM, Domination, Demolition, Kill Confirmed, Hardpoint, CTF, and Search and Destroy, all going to be available to play. So a wide variety of different game modes, which is pretty unheard of. I believe World at War, when they did it, was only TDM that you could play in the beta, and it was basically 2 maps and you were running around trying to pick up kills.
Yeah, this is kind of massive, and it appeals to everyone. I think we're going to see a lot of people jumping into Hardpoint on the competitive side, but TDM is definitely going to be the most played here.
Probably.
What out of this list gets played the least? Is it demo? Is it CTF?
I think it's probably, actually, I was going to say Dom, but Dom's usually pretty heavily populated. Yeah.
Pub Stompers
probably CTF. Probably CTF.
CTF never gets played on a public level, which is kind of why in Ghost they took it out.
Are you guys looking forward to the return of CTF?
I'm looking more forward to
tryout game, yeah.
Because after playing Uplink, I don't think I need to capture the flag anymore.
No, I think when you kind of see it again with the top players in the world playing it in a tryout game, you'll respect CTF.
Would you rather have kind of like, Halo, right? It was like different game modes, like almost every game for the most part, for give and take.
5 different game modes, right? Best of 5.
Yeah. Would you like to see something like that be in Black Ops 3, like a Hardpoint, a CTF, Uplink, S&D, then maybe like a demo or like a new game mode?
I think maybe
we always try all the game modes at the start of every game.
Yeah.
I think we'll gravitate towards the 3 we know work right now really well. Search, playing a little bit of Hardpoint, and then of course Uplink. There's no Uplink in this beta.
Yeah.
Something to note here. So I think we're going to be forced to try and find a new game mode right away. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't see the need for CTF to return. It could potentially. And
With
then,
streaks
and then
again,
at
it
that point,
becomes so much more tactful.
do you find a 5th game mode? I think that's a good question.
No, it would actually be pretty sweet.
Domination's awful for broadcast, so I'm going to sweat
Oh,
that
no,
out
I wouldn't even.
3 objectives? No.
Would you give like the higher seeded team a choice in like a game 3 to play a CTF or an uplink?
That's too much power, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
You give the highest seed the choice of game type. You give the lowest seed the choice of map.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like from a league standpoint, we would make a decision. This game mode is better than that game mode.
Honestly, I think
the best game mode.
I think you'll have.
You would probably see a
like
lot more uplink than CTF as well.
Dude, I think CTF in this game is gonna be good, man. Everyone's sleeping on CTF.
CTF Black Ops 2 is really good.
It was insane. It was
All right.
so good. Just as well, quickly to run down the specialists that are going to be available in the beta. You're going to have Ruin. You're going to have Outrider. The Prophet's going to be available. Battery and Seraph going to be available. So not all of them, just a couple. I believe after a couple of days as well, they're going to add in a few more, but they haven't actually announced.
So there's one more that hasn't been announced. What would you like to see out of that one specialist? If you could pick a gun and an ability for a specialist that you're just making up on the fly,
Yep.
what would you have?
Let's hear it. We already have active camo.
Yep.
You have kinetic armor,
Kinda
which
like
evaporates all bullets.
Yeah. That's what the Spectre looks like, by the way. And that's his little blade thing that's coming out
I
of his
don't
hand.
think I need an energy sword of any kind, even if it is
What's wrong with
a
energy
sweet
swords?
blue razor blade.
Razor blade.
I would want something that stuns a lot of people.
Stuns?
Yeah, like just shock. I don't know, like it would be an aftershock or what it would need to be that just like stuns
Well, like
all my opponents while I go for an objective, like up.
Like a ground slam. If you could ground slam the drone,
Well,
everyone
the ground
was
slam's
stunned.
already in here. I don't know what it would be because what is it? You have the one-shot pistol, right? You got the bow and arrow already in there, so I feel like projectiles are taken care of. There's nothing that is kind of equipment-based or like a stunner EMP
Like an
that would
ability
shock
that
the
would
whole
be
team.
like pretty sweet. I'm trying
I
to
don't
think.
know. It's gonna be
Interesting. I'm trying to like
one...
pull stuff from other games that like.
But I feel like that's what they've done. Like you look a lot at Black Ops 3 from the videos we've seen, you see a lot of Destiny in that. Like a lot of the abilities.
I do not want a bubble shield. Do not give me a bubble shield that gets abused in hard
yeah,
points.
Bubble shield would be kind of.
No, absolutely not.
I feel like that's a very big option.
I don't feel like a bubble shield would be something.
All right, think of it this way. You're a big Destiny player, Matt.
Yeah.
What else in Destiny hasn't, or have we not kind of seen similarities to Black Ops 3? Like, are there any ability, like for example, the bubble, right? You can use that in Destiny. You can use the bubble because a lot of the traits that you see in Black Ops 3 are pretty similar. The golden gun, for example. What is there in Destiny which we haven't seen besides the bubble?
We haven't seen like a large like AOE like blast kind of.
Which is kind of the stun thing that you were kind of talking about.
I just thought of mine, by the way. What I want?
What'd you go with?
I want to be able to walk through a wall. Can't do it with an objective, so there's no like objective cheating. But being able to
want
go
to walk through a wall?
walk through a wall.
So like a teleport, like a blip kind of thing?
Yeah, because you have the current teleport, which just brings you back to where you've already
3
been.
seconds
I want to be able to go
previously.
forward. So I want to be like on level 1, be able to jump up to level 2 through the floor, or I want to be able to
Just,
go
like,
down
look up
through
and
the
go through the
floor,
floor.
or I
That
want
would
to
be
just
sick.
walk through that wall.
Would an ability that gave you like more damage?
Yes.
No.
That would be
BOP.
so
Too
overpowered.
Yeah.
But then
BOP.
there's one that kind of gives you increased health though, or
Like a you think of like a quad damage, right? It's like
Yeah.
I think
Because then everyone's just
I'm
going to
not
want
a
that
fan.
all the time.
right.
gun wise, I think like a railgun would be sweet.
But then you
You
have
just shoot once and it kills everyone.
Kind of like a straight through, kind of like beam.
But very
Beacon have-
rarely.
well, you already have the
You already get clouds,
you have the
yeah,
pistol,
right.
you have the bow and arrow, you got the little.
I feel like it has to be like a crazy kind of like railgun enhanced
something
sniper
crazy.
rifle type of gun. That's like the one gun they really don't have. Like they have a crossbow, but they have the pistol. You
Yeah.
have like one that jumps from player to player. Do you have one that's
One-shot
like
snipers?
really kind of like?
You get like a flasher that just blinds people for a moment. All right, anyway, let's move on. I wanted to gross you out. It didn't work out as well as I planned. Up next, guys.
Hopefully we don't have that.
We got to talk about some team changes. Everyone is talking about Advanced Warfare still. Everyone's still trying to compile their best team possible. The MLG Season 3 of the Pro League is about to kick off once again. We also see the EU Pro League going down, and we've had teams in both NA and EU affected by one move, and it all started with Swanee, Matt.
Yeah, so Swanee leaves Epsilon NA, goes back to Epsilon EU. So we can take a look at the old Epsilon NA roster. It was Swanee, Nagafen, Remy, and Royalty. Swanee leaves this team. They were in kind of dire straits, towards the end of Season 3. The kind of like the first time now. We're going to restart it from scratch. But now this new Epsilon NA roster, it's going to be Parasite taking his place. What do you guys think about that move?
I don't know. I was very, very skeptical at first. I'm not sure how that team is going to work. But honestly, I think if he kind of gets his head in the right place, team could be very dominant.
I think Parasite's,
he looked great. Honestly, they played with Kenny instead of Royalty, and Epsilon looked really good right before we officially paused the Pro League. So I think this new squad has a lot of life, and Parasite actually gelled with Nagafen and Remy really smoothly. I think you saw kind of Nagafen taking on more of a bow role throughout. Parasite ran purely with the SMG. He didn't run the bow like I expected him to. And the squad was able to get the job done. I feel like, honestly, Parasite's addition makes the squad more flexible than they were with Swanee.
I would agree with you on that point. And I think also Nagafen, Remy, and Royalty aren't really vocal players. Like, they're not going to, act out against Parasite. But I think, his kind of personality issues for some teams that he's had in the past isn't going to be bad on this roster. But Swanee, he's not done playing, Ben.
No, thank God. He's gone over to Epsilon.eu. Take a look at what the squad used to be. It was Mad Cat, Reedy, Rated, and Joe. Pretty talented squad.
You're a scump there at the bottom.
Little mini scump.
Baby scump.
Little baby scump right there.
With better hair.
The new Epsilon EU roster now is going to be Swanee, Reedy, Shane, and Zero. So as you said, Matt, Shane Swanee still playing, still competing. Shane back on an Epsilon roster. Reedy, we kind of know what you're going to get with him. The big question mark is on Zero. Now, Zero, apparently, from what I've heard, is a player who's come from the PS4 community, who is up and coming, been playing very, very well online. They kind of gave him a chance at playing, and the community in Europe kind of was in uproar. They were like, hey, what the hell? Why does this guy get a chance? Why don't, me, who's been grinding out for months and months, why do I don't get a shot?
Right.
But then it's really ironic, because then you had Shane and Swanee both saying, well, you guys always complain we don't give a newcomer a shot. Like, you're always saying we keep it within our tight group. Then we actually give someone new a shot, and you're all complaining at us. It's a lose-lose situation.
I feel like there was a lot of new talent at the last Gfinity. I mean, I'm an American, so I don't follow the EU scene nearly as closely as they do over in the UK. But I was really impressed by guys like Lexity and a few of the other new guns that showed up and made big impressions. I mean, we saw some Urban, I think, was another breakout player there. I think there's going to be a lot of new faces. I'm not sold on this new Epsilon lineup, and for the main reason that I thought Mad Cat helped Epsilon get to their top 8 finish there. Everyone
so good.
Played pretty well. But I think Joe also had some great games. It was Rated and Reedy were the two that were like a little wishy-washy. You didn't know what you were going to get out of them. Those are two guys that, I mean, you're sticking with Reedy out of that?
I think you had to. Mad Cat's unbelievable.
Mad Cat is the best player in Europe. I don't care what anyone says. The guy is so talented. He can just explode into a game.
He's hilarious.
He'd be quiet for the first 3 minutes and then win you a game in a minute.
I felt like every game I saw from Gfinity 100K, hardpoint, guaranteed 40.
And here
he just kills everything.
Mad Cat did find a new squad, though. We should mention that. So a lot of people are like, well, you kicked off Mad Cat. I don't know the situation. Did he get kicked off? Did he leave on his own? Because if you look at this new lineup, this could be a little bit dangerous here. The new Millennium squad is going to be Mad Cat, Rated, Joe, and Gotaga. So you still have 3/4 of that Epsilon squad that got top 8. Instead of Reedy, you're bringing in the biggest name in France. Gotaga is coming back, and for the first time, at least to my knowledge, is surrounding himself with 3 guys from the UK.
He did it in MW3 when he was playing with Apex. It was like Tommy and Riddles.
Okay.
And that team back then was like just a godlike team. I remember I used to watch and I'd be like, oh my God, this squad is so good. That was really my kind of like start into competitive esports. So he has played with the English players before. But since then, he's been mainly staying around France. He's built himself a big brand. And that's a big question within Europe right now is Gotaga, is it the brand? Or is he still like that top caliber of player? And
what do you think? Because at Gamescom, he was crushing on Black Ops 3.
I mean, he's always been good at games when they first kind of come out. It's just the players he surrounded himself with recently, I don't think have done him justice for his playing career. So I think he's been kind of
because he can be extremely talented, but there becomes
good.
A point where you really don't even know because you're surrounded with players.
I mean, end of AW, playing with Mad Cat Joe, Rated, probably going to do decent. if this team came over to North America, though, like I wouldn't be holding my breath for them to get into the top 8. Wouldn't be holding my breath for them to get into the top 12. Like Mad Cat's done some crazy things in his career, but I think this team is more of kind of like a, let me just play to the end of AW and then try and figure.
Well, Millennium's a pretty big org as well.
It's a huge org, massive org, and he's going to get a massive following from the French fans. Gataga has he's the European nature. Is exactly what Gataga is. That's the best way of explaining to him that anyone that doesn't really understand.
Has he won events over in Europe?
Good description there.
He's won a fair few. He has a huge following. He's big on YouTube. Like the French love him. He'll go to an event and he'll be lining up, signing autographs for hours.
When we beat them at ESWC, there were people like crying in the front row. It was like absolutely crazy.
It is a little
people
ridiculous.
crying?
Yeah.
You made people cry, Matt?
Yeah.
It's horrible. But as well as that, Europe wasn't
their
done
fault. They were in the final.
With roster changes. Vitality announced a new roster as well. That's where you're going to find Tommy, Pity, LXT, and Urban.
Is this an upgrade for Tommy?
This squad, I think, can do some work.
I don't
really
think. You think it's an upgrade?
I think
LXT is unbelievable.
LXT is really, really good. He's just kind of been a hidden talent throughout AW. No one's really given him enough time. PT.
Oh, by the way, Alexity is kind of the killer of EU.
Yeah.
You watch his interviews.
I don't think
Same performer there. Sorry, continue.
He's very similar in that sense. Urban, for me, the one player I look at and I'm like, what exactly are we going to get? How consistent really is he? You were over at the event. You kind of casted him.
I like Watson, man. I think Watson's really good.
Much better AR.
I think Watson
He's crazy. He's crazy and he has an
absolutely
ego through the roof.
That
Yeah,
just annoys
no,
me.
He's a much stronger player than Urban side
Which
by
is
side.
weird because guess who hasn't found himself on any of these top European teams?
Josh and Watson. Those
Josh
are
and
the
Watson.
ones.
What are they doing? I know Josh kind of tweeted out, he was like, I'm fed up of all this roster
And you
stuff.
bring in Petey instead of Josh. Like, I don't understand Vitality's moves, to be honest. Like, I know Petey
like
has
grabbing
potential.
LXT.
He can be... Yeah, Alexity was really the only pickup that I was like, this makes a lot of sense. He proved it this weekend that he can hang with the Americans. He can hang with the best in the EU. Petey up and down games. I guess Josh up and down games. Urban up and down games as well. But I'd say Urban probably the best in that group when it came to search.
If you could have made a roster out of any of these
so glad
four
you're
players,
about to ask. I'm
any
so
of these
glad you're about to ask.
6 players, which 4 would you have put on a team?
Not any of the teams that you see in front of your eyes right now. I would have gone like Tommy, Mad Cat, Swanee, and thrown in maybe a Watson.
Oh no, I was saying out of Vitality's roster, and then Watson and Josh. Give me the 4 best players out of those 6.
Tommy and Lexity played great.
Yeah, Tommy and Alex, the best 2 players are on there. Then I would say Watson, and then it comes down to Urban's S&D. Like, I think he was pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe Josh, just simply because I know Josh is a very reliable player when he gets on that main stage. But like out of everyone, like out of all the European, I said this a couple of weeks ago. I was saying how I just want to see one like powerhouse European team made. None of this kind of like, this team has a good player there and this team has a good player over there. Just put it all together. There's only a couple events left. We can assume that a lot of these European teams are going to want to come over to Worlds.
Right.
Like, why come over to Worlds unless you're 100% sure you're going to win? Because these teams I'm looking at, I'm not like, this is going to take down FaZe.
Like, top 16, bro. Welcome back.
I mean, like individually, this is the
America.
This is hey, TCM man, 3rd place. Don't forget Anaheim.
One time.
We'll take it. We'll take it to the grave.
Gunchi going.
A lot of these players individually though have that ability. Like Alex, we've seen him shut down Americans a couple of times now in Europe. It's just the right combination of European players. I still think hasn't been found.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think to contend with a North American team, you're gonna have to have like a player like Mad Cat.
You're gonna
have to Swanee on the roster,
right?
And then I think you look like Tommy, and then a player like LXT or Watson or somebody like that. I think that would be a pretty
explosive
good team.
player on AW, someone like that. But I don't know. I don't look at any of these rosters and kind of start shaking in my boots.
Looking at this Epsilon squad, obviously 3/4 of the team left to go join Gataga. How strong is Epsilon NA? Is it stronger than Millennium? Is it stronger than Vitality?
Absolutely. Epsilon NA? Yeah, without that.
No, sorry, EU.
Oh.
Epsilon EU squad. Swanee's new team was Shane.
Yeah, you're a Euro expert, Ben. Tell us which is the strongest out of those 3 teams.
Depends what you're going to get with Zero. Like, he's come out from the PlayStation community. And
give me an answer, Ben. Those 3 teams played today. Who wins?
Who wins gold? Who gets silver? Who gets bronze?
So the final would be...
Don't give me an excuse.
Bronze would be Epsilon EU. I think that's probably the weakest one.
Fair.
Probably because Swanee hasn't really been playing too much recently. He's been doing a lot of analysis work.
He's been playing.
I don't know what I'm going to get with Zero.
Yeah.
I personally, I don't know. I know
Shane hasn't played no bit either.
That's another good point. And he hasn't historically been too good on AW either. He's been kind of inconsistent with whether he wants to run a sub or an AR on a lot of maps. I think Millennium versus Vitality.
Who wins that match?
I mean, that just depends how pumped Kataga gets playing with 3 talented players. Like, I can never underestimate MadCat. I think whichever team MadCat's on, it's like having 1.5 players. Like you said, it's like guaranteed 40 every hard point. At that point, it's just...
And he's great in Surge.
Rated Joe and Kataga, just don't mess up. If you don't mess up in a hard point, you're going to win the hard point.
Once Lexity, MadCat, and Tommy form all on one team, then you have a competitor from the EU. Until then, I think AW is going to see a lot of Americans in the top 8 at Worlds.
I don't think that's going to surprise a lot of people, I think.
Let's wrap this up now, guys, but after the commercial break, we'll be coming back talking about the reboot. We got a fresh start to the Pro League. After some issues with online connections, we've secured it. We're ready to go. Tonight's match is kicking off in just a few.